All right, didn't do any videos for Saturday, but might as well get busy for Sunday. I don't mind saying so myself. Um, Housing. Remember, I want to see cryptos do this, and not that I want to see it, but housing does need to do this because it's way too high. The bubble is blown up way too much, and it needs to be dealt with. The rents are too high, mortgages, everything is too high. Okay? That is the bottom line. Housing market headed for broadest slowdown in years. ZeroHedge.com. For those who have been focusing on corporate earnings, the stock market, and the global economy, a more ominous, if underreported, flashpoint has emerged in recent days after some scary housing market numbers were published over the past week. Or as Robert Schiller told Bloomberg, this could be the very beginning of a turning point. Now, I know I did that video, which I did give to my patrons a little earlier, and Friday night, and then, Saturday night I went ahead and put it on YouTube for everybody else. Not that there was any kind of breaking news, Lindsay update. It was, again, I don't really know if I got anything more out of that last video than the previous one he did. But one of the things he said, even in the next 6 months, some of the stuff I'm going to talk to you about tonight, as he said, you'll start to see. And I'm wondering if it's really just one thing, and that's the stock market. The all-time high, basically, it's in. We're at the top. We're in. Maybe even, as I'm reading you here, the housing issues, those bubbles. So the thing with Lindsay was he said, they could pop these bubbles right now, but they don't want to because Donald Trump's in charge, and they don't want that. So my question, I guess, is, or my thought, what if they pop automatically? But the popping, so to speak, doesn't result in what the elite would like to happen and take over, and then take it to the next level. And instead, we have a crash of different bubbles, whatever, housing, stock market's already peaked, that's it, that kind of a thing. And we just chug along. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. So anyways, let's continue on. This is a little thought I want to give out. The housing market is showing signs of a downward slide after existing home sales were down in June. Sales hit their slowest pace in 8 months, and mortgage rates are on the rise. Rates, as in interest rates. So interest rates are on the rise, causing usually resistive buyers to stay patiently on the sidelines. Now, I'd like to say that's me. I already got a house. Not that I'm looking for, another house. But, I'm paying attention to all this stuff. And, Snippy's mom, you're going to be moving. You know what she said about that. She also said, as I told you, you're going to be getting a car, I'm going to say, before the end of August. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I've fairly recently given my Nissan Leaf as a quote-unquote gift to my papa. Papa Elf. From the North Pole. The North Pole! Yes. He had the old Crown Vic I used to have. And now he's got the Nissan Leaf. Plug it in on his front porch. Just told Dad, every time you drive the car, plug it in. I don't care if you go 5 miles down the street, 10 miles, just plug the thing in. Just keep it topped off. So, he's enjoying that. Snippy got a older 2012 white Chevy Tahoe. What they call a PPV, which stands for Police Pursuit Vehicle. They make certain models for the police departments and whatnot. So let's just say, so many words, I'm driving one of those babies around. Anyways, so my mama, gotta give credit to due. And I just had her read my buddy Joe, the movie guy, as I was talking to him last night, and we were texting back and forth. I'm like, what the hell, what are we doing? Let me just pick up the phone and call, let's just call and talk. So we chatted for a little bit. I love talking. Every time I pick up the phone and talk, I love talking to that guy. And I told you at some point I'll be leaving my job, and that's still on the on the move. That's going to happen. And I'm starting to think that I'm going to be doing some things with him in the future. A little new, different path in life, so to speak. And I wondered about that early on, but after talking with him last night, I thought, I think this is going to happen. I said, you know what? Send me a picture of yourself. Like when we're done talking, or just snap a picture and send it to me. I'm going to send it to my mom. I want to see what she picks up on. And so I sent it to her. I just got it back a little while ago, so I read through it, in certain scenarios I do that, and this is one of them. So I forwarded it to him, just sent him a text, hey, you've got mail, just wanted him to take a look at some of the things my mom was saying, see if she hits on anything. And not that he was asking for it, but I wanted to do it. I just something was telling me, you know what, do this. So it'll be interesting to see what he says about what she wrote. Anyway, so gotta give credit due, Mama. Good job, Mama. In a report in the worrisome data released this week, Bloomberg notes that the U.S. housing market, particularly in cutthroat areas like Seattle, Silicon Valley, and Austin, Texas, appears to be headed for the broadest slowdown in years due to a trend of buyers, quote, getting squeezed by rising mortgage rates and by prices climbing about twice as fast as incomes. And there's only so far they can stretch, end quote. Now, hold the presses, hold the phones, hold the presses. How many times have I come out here and talked about this? You cannot have the most expensive thing somebody's going to buy in their lifetime, which is a house. Second most expensive thing, a car. And I can't sit here and look at data saying, oh, what happened to the old 5-year auto loans? Oh, they turned to 6-year, 7-year, 8-year, 9-year. And I thought someone told me the other day they found a 10-year. 10-year auto loan. I think someone said that that's now a thing. 8 years for sure is a thing. So the cars, can't afford it, we'll extend it. Can't afford it, we'll extend it another year. They just want to get you to be able to make the payments. That's all that matters. Can you make these payments? That's all we care about. But a car is the second, generally speaking, the second most expensive thing a person will buy. And it doesn't even come close to the cost of your house when first and second place. Second place is a mile away, 5 miles away. First place is your house, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, whatever it is. And you got to pay that bill every month. And if that is expensive and you can barely make that payment, that means everything you would normally be spending money on doesn't happen. Let's go to the movies. Oh, we can't. Let's go out to eat tonight. Can't do that. So you can't, quote unquote, stimulate the economy with extra money. Discretionary income, if you will. I've talked about this at length. And here's old Bloomberg. Here it is. Prices climbing about twice as fast as incomes. Like I've said, everything rises except your damn paycheck. Big issue, isn't it? And it's such a big issue, a tissue can't help you with this one, all right? Usually I'll tell you if you have an issue, here's a tissue. You're going to need a damn, downy, the quicker, pick her up. Or you're going to need like a whole, here, I got some. You're going to need a whole roll of that. Tissue ain't going to help. But again, it's in the data. This is hard data. Again, cryptos, come on cryptos. Housing, not that I want to see people lose the value of their houses, but this is insane. These prices, the rents, everything is insane. So maybe Lindsay is going to say, hey, oh yeah, look, 6 months from now. Hey, how's that housing market looking? Oh, interesting. Hey, how's the stock market? Did it really go much higher or is it kind of petered out? And I'm going to say, if that's the case, even if it's not, actually, it doesn't really, I don't think it's going to affect what I'm going to say next. But if it is, it would affect it, I think. If not, it doesn't really matter anyways. And that is cryptos. Oh, the stock market's flattened out. Where can we put our money? Where can we put our money? Oh, those damn cryptos. Let me throw it over there. But even if the market doesn't peter out and keeps going, stock market, people are still getting the cryptos anyway. That's why I said it doesn't really affect it. However, it would affect it if it peters out. If it doesn't affect it, I can't say that definitively it's going to happen. All this money's going to flow into cryptos because of whatever reasons. But again, all the good news. I just got an email from somebody I think I'm going to do a video next on about the Winklevoss, ETF was shut down. This is not the same as the CBOE. I've seen misquoted tweets and everything. This is not the same. And I have an interesting thing to report on that somebody sent me regarding that. It's not bad news, but we'll get into that. So, meanwhile, according to the latest Atom data, U.S. median home price appreciation decelerated in quarter 2 of 2018 to its slowest pace in 2 years. I'm an auto mechanic. Yeah, for 18 years. 2 years. Jerky boys. Here are some key indicators that we are indeed witnessing the start of a slowdown published this week. There's 4 things. Existing home sales dropped in June for a 3rd straight month. Purchases of new homes are at their slowest pace in 8 months. That's 1. Number 2, inventory, which plunged for years, has begun to grow again as buyers move to the sidelines, sapping the fuel for surging home values. Number 3, prices for existing homes climbed 6.4% in May, the smallest year-over-year gain since early 2017, and have gained the least over 3 months since 2012, according to the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And 4, shares of Pulte Group, Inc. fell as much as almost 5%, 4.9%, Thursday morning after the National Home Builder report that orders had declined 1% from a year earlier, blaming, here we go, rising mortgage rates. Was that Joe? I'll check. Was that the beach? All right, no problem. He's just arrived at a restaurant at the beach. Then we go to a town called Carpinteria. He's out with maybe his wife, having a good time. Good for Joe. Because I'm telling you, there might be a change in what old Snippy's been doing all this time, working with this guy. I'm telling you, I can feel it. And one of the things my mom, more than one, things in that little report she sent him, had something to do with, in what I read, him possibly taking a chance. He's worried about some things. I think I know exactly what that is, related to the movie industry. But based off of what she said, he's going to be moving forward with what I think is that path. Because he used to be a stuntman. And he decided, when I'm done with this, he's like, Joe, I've written movies. I've been writing, in my spare time, I would just write scripts. He's telling me about all these different movies, ideas that he has. That he's like, and he already has the names. One of them, of course, is Majestic 12. Yeah, you know what that's about, aliens. And he gave me the rundown on what it's about. I'm like, Joe, I know you said the zombie movie, the Boogeyman from Studio Z. You got a little role. I appreciate that. It's just for fun. I don't need to get a big paycheck. It's just who the hell would turn that down? You know what I mean? But I said, listen, if there's one movie that I've got to have some kind of, for sure, role, even if it's small, the same thing, damn it, it's got to be Majestic 12, because I can't stop thinking about that damn thing ever since you told me about it. That is my kind of movie. Of course, I like his other ones too, but let's face it, there's certain ones that are like, think about, Will Smith in Independence Day. What a great movie, Then Part 2 and all that. Men in Black is actually what I'm thinking, but Independence Day as well. Just cool stuff. So he unfortunately he's not going to read it yet, I guess, unless he pulls up his mail on his phone and starts reading it while he's out. But anyways, I'm done with this. There's a little bit more to this article. Of course, I'll always it's quite a bit more, I should say, a hell of a lot more from the looks of it, actually. Just stats, man. And look, there's nothing you and I can do about this. This is like having the ability to see a gigantic, enormous tidal wave coming in that's going to destroy the coastline. Up to a mile. And you see it coming. And you know it's going to happen. You can't stop it from happening, but you can prepare. So the preparation... I'm sorry, I got to go there. Austin Powers. I shall call it Preparation H. It does feel good on the whole. Dr. Evil. You prepare, and again, for me, and probably you, many of you, we got our cryptos. And if the housing market starts to fall and our cryptos just go and then they hit again, all-time high market cap again, believe me, I know you and me both, we're going to be taking some profits. We even get near the all-time high, to be honest with you. And what are you going to do with that money? You're going to let it sit there and do nothing? No. Oh, hey, look. Oh, the housing market's come way the hell down. There's distressed properties again. Oh, we need a little fixer-upper. I can get it for a fire sale. There's some foreclosures. The bank's going to work a deal with me. I'll buy them. Cash. Okay, good. And you do what you got to do. You had the foresight. You saw this stuff. You studied this stuff. I'm doing it. You're doing it. We can't, well, what about everybody who loses out? Well, what about the boom and bust cycle, as they call the business cycle? Booms and busts. It's a never-ending cycle. But they didn't teach you that in school. They don't tell you about it on TV. You'll never hear about that on the news. I mean, they might mention the business cycle, but they're not going to go into detail and tell you about it. And that all their rich buddies wait patiently. Doesn't matter if it's 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years. They wait patiently until the fire sale starts. They do it all again. And just rinse and repeat. That can be you if you've got some cash to play with. And the way to get the cash to play with, again, what else is out there right now? Cryptos. It's a chance. It's a gamble. Sure. They could go to zero. Oh my God. But I'm going to take a chance. Because if this stuff pays off, and you know how I feel about it, I think it's going to pay off. We're all going to be sitting pretty. And we can take advantage of some of that stuff. And it's not that we're taking advantage of people, we're taking advantage of the situation that has been dropped on our laps by the same culprits that have been doing this forever, which create that boom and bust cycle. Get yourself out of debt, go buy, property or some other asset, whatever it may be. Hotel that's kind of dilapidated, it's a fire sale. Hey, I'll buy that. I got money to fix it up. Yeah, then next thing you know, you got a giant bed and breakfast or just a hotel or motel or whatever. Who knows? There's so many things you could do. That's just one. Maybe you're like Frank at work always talks about fishing and stuff. Man, I want to, get a fishing boat and charter, and he loves that stuff. And that's kind of one of his dreams. So, make your dreams come true. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Up, Joe. There he is. He read through it and said, that was fun. I'll go over it again and send you a reply. Anyway, so I'm going to end this video now because I've been all over the place with this one particular video. Bottom line, housing market headed for broadest slowdown in years. What happened the last time we had a slowdown? Which also means in my house, well, wait a minute, I bought it, last year. Am I going to have to sell my house cheaper than, or do I keep it? If my mom's right and everything, cryptos and everything else, I'll buy a different house while keeping this house. Rent it, do something with it, I don't know. There's all kinds of options. Because again, if you have the house, especially if it's paid for, you're not really affected by these, destruction prices where you're stuck in the house. I can't get out of here. I can't move because I can't even sell it for what it's owed, what we owe on. But if you own the thing, you could sell it for the lower price value, or you could wait it out. Doesn't matter. You own the thing. It doesn't affect you. You're not making that payment every month saying, oh man, I'm making a payment on something that's going down in value, because that's when it's painful. You're looking at this thing going down and making more payments going down. Kind of like your 401k, it's up, okay, putting more money in it, goes down more, goes down more, goes down more, never stops. Oh my gosh, we got a market crash. Half your portfolio is wiped out. Whatever. So anyway, that's it. Watch that housing market. Let's see where it's at in 6 months, like Lindsay's talking about. Take care.